All right, today we're going to dive into something that's, it's pretty personal for a lot of people. We're talking about the burden of the invisible child. We're going to get into the hidden struggles behind being that so-called easy child, and what that label, which sounds like a compliment, can actually mean in the long run.
So let me ask you something. Think back. Were you that kid? The one who never made a fuss, never really rebelled? Were you always the one people pointed to and said, "Oh, they're so easy to raise"? If any of that is ringing a bell, then you're definitely in the right place.
And this is the real disconnect, isn't it? On the outside, what everyone else saw was this amazing, mature, independent kid who had it all together. But on the inside, what you felt was this constant, nagging pressure to be perfect. Not because you wanted to be a star, but because you had to avoid being a burden at all costs.
And that gets us to the heart of it. That easy label, it's not always a sign of a happy-go-lucky kid. A lot of the time, we need to look past the compliment and start to recognize the signs of a struggle that's happening just beneath the surface.
So you might wonder, how does a kid even get like this? Well, it's all about adaptation. It's a survival skill. When a child senses stress in their environment, maybe parents are fighting or someone's sick or there just isn't a lot of emotional energy to go around, they adapt. They learn two things really, really well. They become hyper-independent, and they learn to take all their big, messy feelings and just stuff them way down deep inside.
And over time, these coping strategies, they kind of harden into a set of unspoken rules that you live by. Rule number 1, your feelings, keep them to yourself. Internalize them. Rule number 2, got a problem? Figure it out on your own. And then there's the big one, rule number 3, the most important one of all. Whatever you do, never, ever be a burden. These rules just become a part of who you are.
Now, here's the thing. Following these rules isn't some conscious choice a kid makes. It's all driven by this really powerful coping mechanism, deep down. So it's not enough to just know what these kids do. To really get it, we have to understand the why.
And there's actually a name for it: emotional self-suppression. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's the habit of hiding what you need and what you feel, not for you, but to keep things calm and stable for everybody else. You essentially learn how to become the family's emotional shock absorber.
This right here, this quote just cuts right to the heart of the logic. From a child's perspective, it makes perfect sense. The thinking is, look, if I don't ask for anything, nobody can say no. If I don't show that I'm struggling, then I can't possibly be a disappointment. It's a perfect defense mechanism designed to protect you from getting hurt or rejected.
Okay, and this is where it all comes home to roost. Because those coping skills you learned as a kid, they don't just magically disappear when you turn 18. Nope, they follow you and they can create this really heavy, long-term burden that affects pretty much every part of your adult life. You can literally trace a straight line from those childhood rules to adult struggles. That rule about solving problems yourself, that turns into being an adult who finds it almost impossible to ask for help. Internalize your emotions, that becomes a deep discomfort with even knowing what your needs are, let alone saying them out loud. And that need to be invisible as a kid, it can leave you feeling completely unseen and unheard in your relationships as an adult, all while you're carrying this crushing pressure to do everything all by yourself. So what do we do with all this? Where does it leave us? I think it brings us to a really important final thought. It's about finally, truly seeing the invisible child who tried so hard to go unnoticed, and acknowledging the incredible weight that they carried all along.
And I have to say this because it is so important. The goal here is absolutely not about blaming parents or anyone else. It's simply about bringing awareness to an experience that is so common, but is almost never talked about. It's about giving it a name and validating the feelings of anyone out there who hears this and thinks, wow, that's me.
So we'll end with this question. The easy child spends their entire youth learning one lesson over and over: how to shrink, how to take up less space both physically and emotionally. The real challenge, the real work as an adult, is unlearning that. So the question I want to leave you with is this: how do you learn to finally take up the space you deserve?